Singaporeans love food. We take pride in the dizzying variety of cuisine our country has to offer. So how is Singapore famous for being a food lover's haven when it doesn't produce much of its own? Today, we follow one iconic plate, chicken rice, and break it into two essentials, chicken and rice. For a stall like OK Chicken Rice, they go through 30 whole chickens every day and 1,000 kilograms of rice every month. But how do they get here? We'll start with the chicken. This journey starts 120 kilometers across the border at poultry farms in Yong Peng, Johor, where chickens are reared for the Singapore market. Keesong Food Corporation is one company that runs a reputable supply chain across Malaysia and Singapore, from farm, transport, processing, and dispatch.
So currently we are catching the chicken to export it to Singapore. This is to ensure that we have live chicken to Singapore daily. We started in 1987. We have 213 acres of land here. So we have expanded our business to having our own parent stock, slaughterhouse, and processing plant. So this farm rear roughly 600,000 chicken. And in the entire farm, we process roughly 30 million chicken per year.
On collection day, the workflow is straightforward, but disciplined. Catch, crate, load, move fast. Because this isn't an occasional shipment, it's a daily cycle of moving 20 to 30,000 chickens into Singapore. Catch begins in the late night with no time to waste, and everything is designed to reduce stress and prevent injury because safer handling means calmer birds. That's why crews work under dim, blue-toned light, used during catching to avoid undue stress to the chicken and keep them from moving around.
So in Yong Peng, we have roughly 7 different farms, and we are the first company to obtain the My Organic certificate in Malaysia.
Keesong operates 7 organic farms in a rotation. So while one farm is hatching, another is rearing the next batch, and another is ready for collection. The chickens are raised without antibiotics and are fed Keesong's proprietary diet within an organic and sustainable farming system. The birds are gently placed into crates, weighed, tallied, and loaded into trucks. And the moment the chickens are loaded up, the clock starts, because delays can mean heat, stress, and losses. This is Rosmi. He's one of the drivers who brings live chickens from farm to Singapore night after night.
Kerja lebih kurang dalam 1 jam untuk menangkap ayam, timbang, loading lebih kurang dalam 1 jam. Lepas tu siap loading, saya akan terus mandikan ayam, lebih kurang setengah jam juga.
To make the nightly drive more manageable, Keesong uses a rain misting system to cool the birds before transport. And combined with the night run, the chickens make it across in optimal condition. While the rest of us are asleep, he's on the road. It's tiring. There are road risks, and it's always on a deadline.
Termasuk highway, perjalanan saya sampai dekat custom lebih kurang dalam 1,5 jam, dan kemudian akan bergerak masuk dalam Singapore.
For Rosmi, it's not just work, it's responsibility. He knows he's helping feed a nation.
Saya banggalah kerana dapat membawa ayam organik dan berkualiti yang sehat untuk memberi kepada pelanggan dekat Singapura.
The journey is far from over. From customs clearance, the chickens move to the poultry abattoir. Then onto Ki Song's facility in Senoko. After about 10 hours and 160 kilometers, they arrive for final processing.
You eat chicken rice?
Of course. I can have it on a daily basis if I want to.
This is James Sim, Ki Song's Chief Marketing Officer, part of the next generation of the family behind the business, started by his late uncle, the founder.
Basically, my uncle, Mr. Ong Ki Song, the chairman and founder of Ki Song Group, he started off with 5 chickens in a day using his bicycle to do the deliveries. Till now, approximately, we are processing about 40,000 of chickens in a single day.
At Senoko, the system runs like a production. Up to 6,000 chickens an hour are processed, cut, and vacuum packed alongside value-added poultry for different customers.
Apart from selling whole chicken, we do have cut parts as well, because I think some of the F&Bs will require certain parts like chicken wings, breast meat, or even boneless leg. After that, we will help our customers to do further processings like marination of certain flavors. Once we marinate them, we pack them, and we distribute to the customer restaurants.
And that brings us back to our plate of chicken rice. We followed the chicken, but what about the other half of this national icon? That's where Tong Sang Produce comes in. They are the team behind Song He Fragrant Rice. Meet Max Ng, Executive Director and part of the second-generation leadership overseeing operations.
Rice is actually an ecosystem. So it starts from the farmers farming, planting the rice, to rice millers doing the processing, and for us as importers to have proper storage and quality checks, and then to hawkers cooking the rice for their consumers and customers.
Rice in Singapore, like much of Asia, is a staple food. Singapore imports roughly up to 400,000 metric tons of it every year. That's 70 kilograms per person. Singapore doesn't eat one kind of rice, so importers source different varieties from different countries to match different dishes. Japanese-style grains, basmati for Indian cooking, and fragrant jasmine for staples like chicken rice. Containers arrive from multiple countries, get unloaded, and samples go straight to a QC room where rice is cooked and tested. This ensures the aroma and texture match what Singaporeans expect.
So quality issues for rice is not uncommon. Rice being a naturally harvested product and has a lot of other variable factors that cause quality to have some issues. So at TSP, we are able to reprocess them with modern preservation and reprocessing techniques. And these are all cleared before we pass it out through our consumers.
Food businesses work closely with the Singapore Food Agency, not just to maintain food quality, but to keep the supply steady. That means diversifying supply sources, growing overseas, and strengthening local production. Another practical way is stockpiling.
In Singapore, all rice importers are required to do a mandatory rice stockpile for our nation. So of course, naturally at TSP, we actually plan in advance. We started to stockpile and create an excess buffer for our rice in order for us to sell to our consumers. Actually, COVID showed us that our Singapore rice stockpile scheme works. The system that is in place for us helps us manage through this crisis.
Another pivotal shift Tong Sang took: cold storage.
In 2012, we had our first chilled facility. It was only be able to store up to 1,000 metric tons of rice. But to date, actually, we have expanded our facilities across 3 sites. And we have a total of 11 chilled facilities now.
Tong Sang uses low-temperature, chilled warehouse storage to prevent rice weevils, positioning it as an alternative to traditional chemical fumigation, and to keep the rice stock fresh for longer periods of time. And more importantly, they've also implemented tech to ensure the rice always arrives on time.
One of our operational resources that kept us going was on our GPS systems. So in the past, we had problems locating our drivers to arrange work for them. But now with the GPS systems, we have 100% real-time visibility of our trucks and our driver movements for our managers to allocate resources more effectively.
But behind the innovation, the checks, and the odd hours is a bigger story.
It's really a lot about community, a lot about our responsibility to provide quality rice for our nation.
From warehouses to food centers to supermarkets, every movement is controlled so you can cook, portion, and serve like nothing complicated happened. So the next time you eat a plate of chicken rice or any meal in Singapore, think about the journey it took to reach your table.